Yeah, happy Monday. How was the weekend?
Exhausting. I'm moving, so boxes are piling up and work is being done. So weekends, they're not really weekends. You know, it is what it is.
No, I've moved a lot, but rarely have I had to move myself.
Yeah,
Only
moving yourself
once or
sucks.
twice. Yeah.
It blows. It
So
blows. I mean, we have
I
a
can
we have a
I can
truck
imagine.
that is shipping our stuff, but we're packing everything ourselves.
Hmm. Save some money that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because there's no way we'd be able to move everything ourselves because we're moving clear across the country from
Well,
one
I
end to
mean,
the other.
you could get a giant fucking U-Haul. I don't know how much shit you guys got, but
I mean, it would. I think we did the numbers one point, and that it would be more expensive to do that.
really?
I mean, plus
Yeah.
I don't want to drive a U-Haul that is clear across the country.
I drove a U-Haul from Clarksville, Tennessee to Yuma, Arizona.
That sounds like a nightmare. I don't know why you do
Yep.
that to yourself.
With two cats.
Why would you do that? That's the worst.
Because I had to get out there before Christine could, and the Army wasn't going to pay to move us. So
Ah, bitches, man.
it was a National Guard mission. It wasn't like a total PCS, but we moved out there anyways because had to get the fuck away from Clarksville, Tennessee.
So I have changing the subject.
Sure.
I have a confession to make.
What's that?
I'm not proud of this moment in my life, but figured why the hell not. Yesterday, my wife and I decided to sit down and watch that new Adam Sandler movie on Netflix, Murder Mystery.
Oh God,
I didn't finish
How-
it. I didn't finish it because like we
it
ended
was
up.
that bad?
No, it was fine to be honest. Like
Really?
it was fine. Like it wasn't amazing, but I was entertained. You know, I was watching it. I was having a good time. That's pretty much it.
Well, Jammer's a terrible person, but that's okay, because good morning and welcome to LR Mornings with Kyle and Jammer, the terrible person. I'm Kyle.
I'm Jammer, the terrible person.
Yes, indeed. And it is Monday, the July 1st, isn't it? Yeah, it's July 1st. We are really in July.
We are in July.
And that means tomorrow Spider-Man comes out, so I'm pretty fucking stoked about that.
Does it? Holy shit,
Yes.
you're right. Wow.
Yes.
What a world we live in. A world where Spider-Man is out.
I'm very stoked about that. Are you seeing it tomorrow?
Probably not tomorrow. Probably this weekend.
Ah, see, it's one of those movies I just can't fucking wait to see. I've heard that the mid-credit scene is pretty special. I don't know what it is. I just heard that all of the extra stuff for this movie is worth watching.
I mean, our own Nick Dahl, he had a chance to see it last week for a press screening. I think he gave it an A.
Yeah,
He said he didn't like it quite as much as Homecoming, but he said that it was like good on its own merits. So
Interesting.
yeah, so
Interesting.
I don't think you'll be disappointed based on everything I'm hearing.
Yeah. No disappointment whatsoever. I mean, it's fucking Spider-Man, and it's not Andrew Garfield, so it'd be really hard to disappoint me.
Yeah, you really don't like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. We don't even need to get into this conversation. I already know where this is going. I could hear you winding up back there, like getting ready, like, oh, give me a sec. I'm going to talk about the fact that he's not a very good Peter Parker because he's too smooth, he's too cool, he's too hipster to be da-da-da-ba-da.
Parts of it, yeah, parts of it. There was an interesting rumor, though, sticking with the House of Mouse, but shifting gears to a different franchise, Star Wars. A while ago, it was rumored that there was a third TV show in the works. You know, you had The Mandalorian was one, the Cassian Andor was two, and then there was a third one. And now there's a rumor that that third one will be a TV show that focuses on a certain Sith Lord by the name of Darth Bane. You've heard the name drop before, right?
Of course. Yeah, Darth
Okay.
Bane is a very droppable Darth name in the fandom.
Yes, and he is technically canon because he appeared as a vision to Yoda in the Clone Wars. But all of his EU books and adventures are wiped out, of course. Well, the rumor is from our favorite rumor generators. We got this covered. They say they got a source that's close to Star Wars, Lucasfilm, and that none other than Dave Bautista is being sought after to play Darth Bane. What do you think about that?
I think I haven't had a chance. I need to get in touch with my source and figure out if I can corroborate or debunk this thing. That's what I'm thinking about that. But as far as assuming it is true, I don't know enough about Darth Bane. What can you tell me about Darth Bane before I can judge whether or not Dave Bautista is the man for the job?
I mean, during in the EU, during the Sith Wars and stuff like that, a lot of slaughtering. He's basically the guy that came up with the idea of the rule of two. Too many Sith get together and they're too busy trying to stab each other in the back in order to take over the galaxy. So he was the guy that kind of came up with the rule of two.
Fucking
real
rule two
vicious,
is stupid.
Real powerful.
I hate the rule of two because everyone talks about the rule of two as if it's
but they all break it.
Yeah. Everyone talks about it every single time, like, oh, it breaks the rule of two. I'm like, everything breaks the rule of two. The rule of two is completely arbitrary and made up and oftentimes very stupid. And also it's a stupid name, the rule of two. Well, my point is it's not like there's a law in the universe that says, oh, there can only be two. It's just the way it's worked out.
Yeah, well, no, he actually made it while he was in charge of the Sith Empire. He made it a rule.
He made it a rule, but I mean, like, if you go to freaking, what's his name? Kylo Ren and what's his fucking name? Who's not a Sith, but died. Snoke. People say, oh, that breaks the rule of two. It's like, but first of all, you say he made it a rule, but he's not alive anymore, is he?
No.
So it's not like anyone's enforcing it.
Yeah, and I mean, the whole rule of two thing is something that popped up in the prequel trilogy first. Darth Bane and his books were spawned after the prequel. After the prequel trilogies. So I personally don't care. I've said this before. I want them to do stuff that kind of takes place thousands of years before the Battle of Yavin, thousands of years before the OT. I want to see stuff that's inspired by the EU's hyperspace wars and Sith wars, but I don't need to see the characters. You know what I'm saying? I give me some of the planet names like Korriban. That would be cool. Give me, the Jedi Library planet. That'd be nice. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head right now, but like there's things that they could do, but we don't need characters right out of Knights of the Old Republic. We don't need characters right out of the EU books. We don't need Bane. But I mean, just Bautista. Do you think he could play a well-spoken, charismatic, evil leader?
I really like Dave Bautista. I'll start off by saying that.
Okay.
He's shown that he is capable of acting, if you've seen him in smaller roles. In like Blade Runner 2049. He's capable of comedy. But I'm not sure. I mean, he's also getting better, I think, as time goes on. He also looks pretty good in that comedy movie Stuber. Have you seen the trailers for that? He looks pretty funny in that. That
does look funny.
I mean, it's hard for me to say whether or not I don't think he's ever had a role that pushed him to be that specific thing. So it would almost be irresponsible for me to say one way or another if I think he's capable of it at this point. Will he eventually be capable of something like that? I think so. I think he's proven that he is already a pretty well-spoken, intelligent guy. It's just a matter of he can be that plus evil, I guess is one way of saying it. Yeah.
Like a mobile emperor.
Yeah, I could see it. Because I have no preconceived notions about what this character should be. So yeah, I could see it. What about you?
I would be concerned just simply because it's like taking the emperor but making him a little bit more vicious himself instead of always having lackeys do stuff. But still, this is a leader. This is a person that's got to do a lot of talking, and I don't know. I would like to think he's capable of it, but I think some people just saw images of Darth Bane where he's got like some face tattoos and he's bald, and they're like, oh, well, you know, Drax has some face tattoos and he's bald. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it is a rumor. It's just a rumor. So, but I thought it was interesting that Bautista, who at one point was willing to walk out on the House of Mouse and be like, "Fuck you guys, I'm going home," is possibly going to be heading over to a second franchise for them.
I mean, he did basically backpedal pretty hard recently. Did you hear about his backpedaling on that part?
Yes.
Pretty much he was saying that he wasn't saying he was going to quit. He was saying that he was not going to remain quiet when he disagreed with the move that they made. And that if he, the only reason, basically he was willing to lose his job if they were going to do that to him.
I think bullshit.
I agree. I think it's bullshit as well.
Dude was ready to fucking walk in a heartbeat. That's what I think.
If they didn't use the script.
Yeah. If they did not use at least the script. So, yeah. There was another Guardians of the Galaxy 3 rumor, since you want to bring up Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We've not gotten this one up on the website yet, so keep an eye out for it today. Did you hear who they wanted to voice? I'm going to mess up her name.
Shut the fuck up. Come on, say it.
God damn it. The fucking female that the female that Rocket Raccoon is all about. Ooh, I don't want to mispronounce this, because it's like Lila, something like that.
Oh, I thought it's funny because I thought you were talking about the person who's going to play, who's rumored to play that role.
Yeah, I am going to talk about her, and that's Lady Gaga.
Yeah, you're like, I was like, Lady Gaga? Is that what you're having trouble pronouncing?
Or it looks like Lylla, and that's how I've always pronounced it in my brain whenever I've read the character's name. But yeah, there's been a rumor floating around that Lady Gaga and might be joining up with her singing buddy from A Star Is Born, Bradley Cooper, who plays Rocket, for her to play Lylla. I have recently said that I think having too many A-list stars in the MCU is worrisome, but I'm still giving, Feige the benefit of the doubt, even though I am worried. What do you think about this one?
I don't know shit about Lylla. Don't know anything. I think it's cute that they could be going, starring each other. Aren't they like romantic interests, right? That's the thing?
I guess. I'm not sure. Oh, in the story?
Yeah,
yes.
In the story.
I thought you talked about Cooper and Gaga.
No.
I don't fucking know.
I don't think I wouldn't say real people are love interests. That's a term for story. But yeah, I'm talking about the two characters, with her Lylla and Rocket Raccoon.
Yes, they are.
I mean, sure. I get the two have proven they have chemistry in A Star Is Born. Even if it's what's the word? Destructive. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like she's a good actress. She has a good voice. Obviously, she's a good singing voice. Yeah, why not? Like, honestly, I don't really care, because as long as she fits the role, she'll be fine. I haven't seen her do anything in the past that makes me think, oh, well, she's not good enough for this role. And I personally don't know much enough about Lylla as a character to really say anything bad. Like, I think she's a great actress, and they work good well together. I can't really complain about anything. What about you?
Like I said, just slight concern with too many big names.
But it's not like you're gonna recognize Lady Gaga's voice.
But yeah, no, you're right. This one's nowhere near as worrisome as when I was like, Angelina Jolie in the MCU.
I will say this: I remember when Bradley Cooper was first cast as Rocket, and I was upset because it seemed like a real case of stunt casting. I'm like, why do you need Rocket Raccoon when you could actually use this opportunity to get a person who's a voice actor, an actual voice actor? Yeah. And being really annoyed by that. But then the movie came out, and I was like, yeah, he was really good. He was really, really great as Rocket Raccoon. He didn't phone it in. He did a fantastic job.
He did.
And I think they generally do a pretty good job, Marvel, of having characters or actors do pretty solid performances. And I think as great as Lady Gaga is, I don't think she's reached that point where she's going to be ready to phone it in of her career, because I think she's still kind of on the rise. I think she's still a lot higher to go in her acting career. So, yeah, I'm actually liking this more and more as time goes on. I'm interested to see what sort of, I guess, even comedic range she will have. Because when I think of Lady Gaga, I think of like artsy fartsy actress, or artsy fartsy artist. Period. Be it in music or whatever. Have you seen any of her really really weird, hippie crystals shit that she does online? Where there are these videos of her like walking around naked and then like hugging gigantic crystals and stuff, and it like has to do with, I don't know. Is it
performance art?
It's performance art. Yeah, she does a bunch of performance art, and it's like new age / performance art weird stuff that I don't understand. It's really weird. So yeah, I think when I think of her, it's just like I think artsy fartsy, typical, almost comedic artsy fartsy type shit. My point is, I think she will do fine when all said and done. Okay. I feel bad. I feel like maybe I'm not being as critical of these people as you wanted me to.
No, I don't want you to be any particular way. I'm not even critical of it. I'm just some of these castings are incredibly curious, and I'm wondering why Marvel is casting so much more big names for this upcoming phase than they did for, starting out their universe.
I don't know about that. They had pretty big names from the get-go. They had... Go ahead.
I was going to say Robert Downey Jr. is, of course, the biggest name that they had, but he was on his way to on a comeback.
I think they've been
Hollywood.
They've been casting big people since Phase 2. They had Natalie Portman.
Cumberbatch is pretty big.
Benedict Cumberbatch. They had Ben Kingsley in Iron Man 2. They had Robert Redford in The Winter Soldier. They had what were the movies that came after Winter Soldier? I don't know. They had.
Yeah, but Redford was a supporting character.
He was a villain. He was the main villain.
Yeah, well, The Winter Soldier got more villain time. He was the puppet master.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's not that they don't have big names, and a lot of people have become big names from them. I found it weird.
Marvel Phase 2. I'm gonna keep.
I usually think of a studio that's got new things coming out. And
they try to bring Rudd. They had Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd's a pretty big name.
That was a pretty big name when he got announced. I remember people being like, "Really, Paul Rudd of all people? That's really distracting." Yeah. Let's see here. They had there's Age of Ultron, so Captain America, Guardians of the Galaxy. That didn't have anyone super famous, did it?
Not really.
I mean, Zoe Saldana. Zoe Saldana, she's pretty big.
Yeah, she'd been in a few movies. She did Avatar, and she did a few movies. Yeah, I can see her as being one.
Yeah, who else? Let's see here. Ronan. Yeah, no, he wasn't that big. No, not really anyone big. Age of Ultron. James Spader. I don't think he's big. I guess he's more of a character actor.
Yeah, Blacklist was his biggest claim to fame.
And then,
at the time.
Oh, and you have not only Paul Rudd, you had Michael Douglas in Ant-Man.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not saying that they didn't have a sprinkling of big names, and even with these new ones in Marvel We Trust, I just worry about too many of them in one movie with like the Eternals. This is not the Eternals. This is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So it's interesting. Maybe they saw how well they worked together on A Star Is Born and were like, yeah, fuck it, let's bring them both in.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I forgot. Bradley Cooper. He was the big name in that one.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, that was
pretty big name.
Yeah, that was the end of my statement on that one. But yeah, I feel like they've had a lot of big names for a lot of things. I think they've also proven with movies like The Avengers, Infinity War, and all that they're able to juggle those types of things. Or, obviously they're not going to have Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely do all of the movies, right? They're not going to have them write all of the movies, so it's not like they're going to be working with the same writers for each project. But obviously, you have Kevin Feige there, who is giving feedback and stuff on what works and what doesn't. So having that same guiding hand, I think he'll understand what works. I don't think they're going to do anything just like, oh, we have Angelina Jolie, we have to do this. We have, whatever this actor is, we have to do this. I think it's all just going to be in service of the story. They've never increased a role due to a person being more famous. So as long as they keep that up, I don't think, as long as they do that, as long as they get decent actors who fit the characters, it doesn't really matter to me whether or not they are too famous or not famous enough or what have you.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not one of those people that's demanding, no names or little known names. I just find it curious. I'm wondering about why the casting is the way it is for Phase 4. But one last thing before we go, I wanted to get your opinion on, because I know you like Disney movies.
Do I?
Yeah, well, you like them a hell of a lot more than I do.
I do. I do love them. I'm giving you shit.
You like Disney movies,
yes.
And a rumor came out this weekend from weekend from Diz Insider, regards to the live action Mulan movie coming out.
Mm-hmm.
The rumor is, and they say they got a very close source to them, to Diz Insider, that has seen a cut of the movie, and that right now, Mushu the dragon is not Mushu the dragon. The animal is a phoenix, the famous bird that burns itself up and rises from the ashes anew. And then on top of that none of the original classic songs are going to be sung by the cast. Instead, the music will be there, but no singing of those songs. They did not mention clearly whether or not they're singing at all. What do you think about that?
I love this very much. I love it a lot, if true. Because, for a couple reasons. One, I have never been one to like Mushu. I think he's cheap.
Poor Eddie Murphy.
I think he's cheap. He's like a crutch. He's just a way to appeal to a younger audience while telling a somewhat serious story. I've also never been a gigantic fan of Mulan. Like, I think I like the idea of Mulan. I like parts of Mulan. But for me, it never came together, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that they had to appeal to a younger audience. Even when I was younger, I was like, the story isn't being told in as serious a way as I want it to because of fucking Mushu, the dragon. Now, obviously, I don't know if this Phoenix is going to be more serious or if it's going to be a more realistic take. I'm assuming it is. I like that idea of doing something a little more serious, and I don't mind changing the dragon. I have zero attachment to Mushu, the dragon. So, all for that. Lack of songs? Also for that, because I've said this in the past, that, I don't. What's the point in remaking these movies if you're going to do the same thing over and over again? Obviously, I've also said that I love these movies, so fuck me, right? But at the same time, I think if there's one movie that could really depart from the source material and lean more into the realistic nature of the story, it is Mulan. I think they really have an opportunity here to take this to a whole new level of, for lack of a better word, epic. And tell a really cool story without having to be hindered by the typical Disney brand. Obviously, it's still going to be Disney brand, but they can go a little darker and they can go a little, a little less whitewashed version of China. They could actually go.
They could do a Chinese war epic. They really
exactly.
Could.
Yeah, they could do a Chinese war epic, like a PG, a hard PG, I guess, or or PG-13 war epic for Mulan. Yep. They could actually go into that. So I like this. I think this is fantastic news, and I hope it's true.
Yeah. I personally don't give two shits about 99.9% of Disney princess stuff, and this falls in line with the Disney princesses cartoon
Even
movies.
Though she's not a princess?
Even though she's not a princess. It gets lumped in with that, and she was in the Disney princess scene of Wreck-It Ralph 2, so no. The movie, like you said, has potential, because a war epic would be really nice, and if there is no singing at all, that's a really easy way to get me in a seat. Chinese war epic, no singing. Okay, I'm there.
Yeah, no, it gets you in. I mean, it gets you in for that, and it gets me in because of the fact that, hey, it's going to be something different. I'm really excited. That first image that they released that you used in the article over the weekend, I like that image. I think it's a cool image of Mulan.
Yes.
And I've actually, before, I think it was the director, Nikki Caro, I think is her name. I think that's it. Anyways, I think she took to Instagram when they started production and showed this really, really cool image while they were on like a blue screen stage, and it was just fucking gorgeous the way they had it. And I can't. It was like a tree, and it was reflective and stuff, and it looked super amazing. And I really got excited for them really going all stylistic with this one. And I always wondered, are they going to go song wise? I hope not, because there's, like I said, there's opportunity here that I hope they don't squander. And that was always a concern. So once again, this is just a rumor. We don't know if this is true. Nope. It could just be all made up and bullshit. But at the end of the day, I like the sound of this one quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a big rumor day today on LRMornings.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, over the weekend, there was, for some reason, they're just like, fuck your weekends. Let's go ahead and just release a bunch of random rumors. And that's the worst. It's even worse when you have some people, some major outlets or studios go like, hey, you know what? It's Friday. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time. You want a rumor or you want like a big piece of news? It's like, oh, fuck. All right, I guess. Not really. I wish you had done it, 4 hours ago. That would have been nice, but go for it.
One last thing before we go. The in-game re-release. Everybody was kind of curious as to how much money it made over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It expanded into 1,040 more theaters back up to 2025, okay, for this weekend, and brought in an estimated 5.5 million domestically.
Son of a bitch. Not that much.
Not that much. It still has another, full week to run with this re-release. The way that I understand things, the extra footage and stuff will be in for the rest of this week. Mm-hmm. So it's got a chance to make another, 5 to 10 million maybe with a whole week plus another weekend, if I read it correctly. But that's still, even if it makes another $10 million, worldwide total would be sitting at 2.77. So still a few short from the 2.78
not even a few short.
It needs
2.77, 2.78, 2.77. I can't math right now. 2.7.
They would be just a little short.
They'd be short like 10 million. Is that right?
Yeah.
If they're that fucking close, they have to do something, right? Like they're so close. Right now
I know, but the movie hits digital on July 30th. But this is the funny thing. When it hits digital home video on July 30th, it will have been in theaters only 95 days.
Yeah.
Think about that. Avatar spent 238 days in theaters, including its re-release.
Yeah, that's true.
But it also had every fucking 3D projector in the world showing it.
Yeah, so. Yeah, that was the thing. I don't know. Sorry for my lack of energy this morning. I'm realizing. I feel like I don't have a lot to say here on certain things, and I'm just like fumbling over my words here. So apologies for that. But yeah, I want Avengers to win. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Avengers already won. It's already one of the highest grossing movies of all time. It's already really close to it. There's, other than bragging rights, they gain nothing, so it probably isn't worth it. But that deep down, Avengers Endgame was such a great movie, and it was such a better movie than Avatar that's the only reason I'm like, come on, you can do this, you got this, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't do it.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll see what happens.
Do you think it'll do it? You don't think so?
As long as they just leave it in theaters, I mean, there's always the possibility. It hasn't had less than $1 million weekend yet. Even last weekend before the re-release, it still made just shy of $2 million. So, I mean, if it ekes out another $10 million with this re-release, and then has another $2 million weekend, and then a $1 million weekend, plus all the weeklies, it's a possibility, man.
I mean,
it's a real possibility.
I'm looking at the previous weekends or the previous weeks, so it's like it looks like every
7, 5,
it looks like
3.
every. No, I'm not looking at weekends. I'm looking at days specifically.
Oh.
Like over the weekdays even. So it looks like every couple of days they basically get 1 million.
Yeah.
So 1 million a day. So imagine 1 million a day, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's another 5. Let's assume maybe $3 to $5 million within the week, in addition to whatever next week's estimate's also going to be. So maybe, because I mean, I think it's going to be a bit higher than in the past for this weekday. For these weekdays, I don't know.
We got the 4th of July weekend coming up, so.
But Spider-Man though. Oh, but maybe Spider-Man will increase people's desire to see it. Maybe because it's connected to it, people go like, "Oh, I just saw Spider-Man and it connected. I want to go back and watch Avengers Endgame while I'm at it." Why not, right?
Yeah. Even if you guys don't plan on sitting through the 3-hour movie, go buy a ticket and just hope it beat that god awful movie.
What, Avatar?
Yes.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Oh, I hated it.
Why?
I hated it. It just, the story really, really just sucked to me, and I did not care for the spectacle of it. It did not interest me. Ooh, 3D. I don't like 3D movies, so it just nothing about that movie appealed to me. I didn't find the acting to be good. Yeah, it looks pretty, but the 3D aspect of it meant nothing to me. So I don't know. And the whole Polka Ferngully aspect of it, like.
Polka?
I know a lot of
What do you mean by
stories.
Polka?
Pocahontas and Ferngully.
I was just like, Pokemon? What the fuck are you talking about?
Polka Gully? I don't know. I'm trying to combine words here.
And Dances with Wolves, it's fine. There's the thing about it, people say that a lot. I mean, every story is fucking rehashed. It's not a huge deal.
But this
everything borrows. Like, Pocahontas borrowed. Dances with Wolves borrowed. Ferngully
This
borrowed.
almost was like plagiarism at some points.
Plagiarism of 5 different things. I contest that. You can't say it's plagiarism if it's plagiarizing 5 different things.
Well, some of those things borrowed from each other.
I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, it's kind of like Star Wars, universal storytelling. It's basically a story that resonates with audiences worldwide to a degree.
Yeah.
So that's probably part of why, in addition to the technology, why it was able to connect with so many people, because it had such a wide, broad strokes of archetypalness.
How many people do you know?
I'm not defending it. I'm not saying it's amazing.
No, I'm just curious because I don't know any. I'm wondering because you have way more connections to movie and other film buffs than I do. My job does not have a lot of film buffs in it, and I'm wondering how many people do you know that actually not just the spectacle but liked the movie. They liked the characters and the story of that movie.
I mean, like I said, you're kind of taking it out of context. You can't really take it out of context of what it was of the time. It was about the spectacle, and at that time, people enjoyed it. It's like, no, was the characters and the story that great? No, but I had a good time in the theater, and it was a unique experience for the time. I feel like you're kind of looking at it through the wrong lens. It's like trying to watch Fast and Furious and say, yeah, but did you like the characters in the story? It's like, well, I didn't go see Fast and Furious for the characters in the story. I went to go see a bunch of stupid action stunts.
I guess. Anyways, I just hope it didn't deserve to make that much fucking money.
Well, it did, sadly.
Anyways. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Jammer's a terrible person, as always, making me feel like garbage. So I'm going to go sulk in a corner while he goes and does his own thing and dances on my grave or whatever. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We really had a good time. It's a Monday. We look forward to the rest of the week. Make sure you guys are checking out LRMonline.com every single day for all your entertainment news needs. We got it. We're covering it. Just go. Make it your homepage. Do that stuff. YouTube channel. YouTube's always got lots of things coming up. There's a video series that we used to do that's going to be coming back. And do we say it?
No, not yet.
Because I recorded it yesterday. Okay. All right. Well, it's going to be coming back, and so keep your eyes out on that, and definitely check out the LRM podcast online podcast network, wherever you can get your podcast from: Stitcher, Spotify, Google, SoundCloud, Apple, wherever you can get it. We're there with Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast. LRM ranks it. LRMornings, Los Fanboys, so much more. Nerdflix and Chill, The Comic Source, Geek Scholars News. Just what we're LRM's blowing up, guys. Check it all out. Like, share, subscribe. Jammer, where can people find you at online?
You can find me on Twitter at JamTheWriter and all my stuff at LRMonline.com.
Good stuff. You guys can find me at that Kyle Malone on Twitter, as well as doing stuff for the website. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Adios.